Alright, in this video I'm going to continue on with the for loop. A lot of people are getting stuck in how to add another for loop to add multiple rows. So before I do that, I'll just quickly play it and show you. And so now I have two rows on mine. Oop, I'm way zoomed in up here, but anyway, the point is we want to get more than just one row and use a for loop to build as many rows as you want. Now before I do that, there's one other thing that's bugging me. When I was walking around the room, a lot of you, your enemy ship, has the particle effects are just huge, and so they're just covering the row behind them. And so I wanted to show you, if you open it up, when you double click on your enemy prefab and you open up the enemy, you can click on each engine and see the particle effect. I'm going to hold down my shift, so I highlight both of them so I can scale them together. So a lot of you, when I walk around, they look like this. They're scaled at 1, and so it's huge. And then, for example, when I run it, it just doesn't look good because they're covering the whole screen. So that's all you have to do. Fix that. Actually, I should just put a Control Z and see if I can just put it back. There we go. Let's see if that fixed it. Oh, I guess I didn't fix it. Control Z. And let's see if that fixes it. Well, darn it. Looks like I have to fix it the old-fashioned way. So just put them back to 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. And let's see how that works. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to now open up my spawn manager. This is the point of this video, is to take a look at the for loop. So here's the for loop I showed you in the last video, right there. And this code right here makes it a child of the parent when it spawns the new enemy ship inside this enemy block. And then I added a new for loop and I used R for row instead of I. So I just copied this code, pasted it right here, changed the I's to R's, and then I changed it to 2 because I just wanted 2 rows to start with. Now if I just up this to 3, and by the way, the Z position is what we're talking about for this row. So I had to say plus R, whatever the number is. So if I up it to 3, let's see what happens. We would expect 3 rows. Problem is they're getting down too close to the ship. So if I wanted it to be higher, start at a higher position, because if I went to 4 rows then it gets down really close, then I just need to start the R at a lower increment. And then I'd say 2. Now I can have 3 rows, but it's going to start at a -1. So let's give that a shot and see what happens. Does it place it higher? Oop, I went the wrong direction. My fault. Looks like it's going to be start at 1, go to 4. That's right, because a positive Z is up on the screen, moves up on the screen. So, oops, I went the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Alright, good. So have some fun with it. The 2 things you need to do is add a new for loop, and then all of this stuff gets indented. And you have to add Z position plus R, because now it's incrementing by R. Now let's say your ships were different sizes than mine. So when your ships were built on the screen, they ended up being overlapping because one unit isn't enough to separate them. Well, there's a simple trick. You could just say R times whatever you want. So instead of just R times 1, which would be itself, R times 1.5 maybe. So then it would be 1.5 units, 1.5. Remember, if you're going to use a decimal, you have to put an F for telling it it's a float number. And so you can adjust this number just to get it exactly what you want, and just multiply it by whatever you want. So if I ran this at 1.5, should put a little more space between the rows. Yeah, there we are. Quite a bit of space. So have some fun with it and do it however you want. I'll leave the code. Here's what we did. I'm going to leave mine like that.